Good evening, children. How are you all? I hope everyone are doing fine. Let us continue with the chapter 2, that is microorganisms, friends and foes. So in our previous class, we studied many useful bacteria, many useful fungi as well as algae under the topic useful and friendly microorganisms. Today, we will be looking into other phase of microorganism, that is how they harm us, that is harmful microorganism. So let us begin. We studied that many microorganisms are extremely useful to human health as well as to our ecosystem. What is ecosystem, children? Ecosystem is nothing but it is a combination of biotic as well as abiotic components. What do you mean by biotic? So that is living organisms. What is abiotic? Non-living organisms. So with the combination of both biotic as well as abiotic components, we call it as ecosystem. And there is an interaction between biotic as well as abiotic components in the environment. Okay, so that we call it as ecosystem. And we saw that many microorganisms are useful to human health as well as to our ecosystem. So they can invade the humans, animals and also plants to cause diseases. Okay, and these disease causing microorganisms are called as germs or pathogens. Pathogens are nothing but disease causing microorganism, or it is also called as germs. Next, the diseases caused by the germs are called communicable. That means infectious diseases. Communicable means it can be spread from one person to another person. And these diseases can be passed from one person to another person by the transfer of microorganism through air, water or food, and also directly or indirectly by physical contact. And there are certain insects which act as a carriers of disease causing germs. And what is the pandemic that we are facing now? We are facing COVID-19 and it is caused by coronavirus, isn't it? And how it is spreading? It is spreading through a sneeze droplets or through cough from one person to another person. So it is also called as communicable infection or disease. Okay, so this is about communicable disease. Next, we shall see how spread of infectious diseases takes place. Spread of infectious diseases can be from three forms, that is airborne infection, waterborne infection and diseases spread by insect and animals. So let us study one by one in detail in further slides. First, we will look into the concept airborne infection. So, airborne infection might be through bacteria and virus that infect the nasal passage or windpipe and lungs, which are present in the saliva and mucus, isn't it? So, mucus is present in nasal passage and saliva in mouth. And when an infected person coughs or sneezes, what happens? Tiny droplets of moisture which is present in the mouth will carry disease causing germs, will spread in the surrounding air. So when a healthy person inhales, means when he breathes in, when he inhales this air, that is the disease causing germs enter his body and also infect him. Okay, and it is advisable that the infected person should cover his nose and mouth with a tissue or a handkerchief while sneezing. So this is a basic manners, isn't it? When you're coughing or sneezing, you need to keep a handkerchief or tissue close to your nose and mouth. So this is about airborne disease or airborne infection caused through mucus or saliva. Okay, so that is present in nose and that is nasal passage and windpipe respectively. Next, we will look into waterborne infection. So name itself says that disease or infection is spreading through water. And waterborne diseases are so infectious diseases that spread through contaminated water. What do you mean by contaminated water? This water consists of various microorganisms which are so harmful in spreading infections. Okay, so you might have heard the terms like diarrhea, cough, okay, stomach upset. So how this is happening? So because when we have contaminated water, this carries a lot of microorganisms which are harmful to us. Okay, and we teachers and parents advise you to not have contaminated water which is available outside. So we do advise you people to have filter water or boiled water. So if we boil the water, what happens? All the harmful microorganism that is present in the water will die due to the temperature. Okay, and these diseases are more prevalent in the areas with poor sanitary conditions. So if you look into few rural villages, so though they don't have proper sanitation, isn't it? So they prefer outside yard for the sanitation, isn't it? And drinking water is the common cause of spread of infectious diseases. So easily it can be spread with a drinking water. So we need to be very careful when we prefer drinking water. Okay. So they can, however, also be spread through water used for washing or water used for cleaning fruits, vegetables, and also utensils. So water sources. So if I ask you people to name some water sources, from where do we get water? So water sources like springs, rivers, lakes, ponds, streams, wells, reservoirs, and also rainwater that run off into tanks and cisterns can all be contaminated by fecal matter of humans and animals. So if you look into a few villages, so there will be like a pond or like a lake, so where they do all the daily activities. They keep on washing their domestic animals, they keep washing their utensils, also wash the clothes there, and later they drink the same water. So what happens with this? The water becomes so contaminated. Okay, they consume the same water, so it is easy for the microorganism to attack humans and cause infections. Okay, and dead and decaying animals and plants can also contaminate this drinking water. Okay, so this is about waterborne infection. Next we will look into the last spread of infectious diseases, that is diseases spread by insects and animals. So this acts like a vector, that means which carry diseases, the vehicle which carry diseases. Here vehicle not means literally vehicle. Your animal or insect act like a vector to carry that infection or vehicle. Okay, vector is nothing but vehicle. Okay, so let us see. So there are many diseases that are not caused by insects and animals but are carried by them. They are not causing the diseases but they are carrying the diseases, and we call it as carriers. Okay, they act as a carriers of disease causing microorganisms like mosquitoes, flies, mites, fleas, ticks, rats, and dogs are some common examples of carriers. So they act like carriers, they carry the diseases. They directly don't cause any infection or disease. Okay. Mosquitoes will transfer disease causing microorganism through the saliva that comes in contact with their host when they suck the blood. Okay. So how mosquito is carrying the disease? It is carrying microorganism through the saliva. when it comes in contact with their host, when it comes in contact with the unhealthy person, it carries the diseases with them when they suck the blood. Okay, and mosquitoes are carriers of microorganisms that cause diseases such as malaria, dengue, and yellow fever. Okay, so these are the infection or diseases caused by mosquito. Next, biting insects are so active at all the times of the day and also during night. So, however, some prefer different times of the day. For example, the female Anopheles mosquito. So, the female Anopheles mosquito that spread malaria is mainly active after dark. Okay, but Aedes mosquito that spread dengue is active during the day. So you need to notice, so which is that mosquito which is very active during dark, after dark, and also which is that mosquito which cause dengue, which is very active during day. Okay, so the mosquito which is spreading malaria is called as Anopheles mosquito. The mosquito which is causing dengue, it is said to be Aedes mosquito. Okay, and biting is not the only way to carry and transmit diseases. Okay, so diseases may also be spread through the feces of the carriers. Feces means the excreta. Okay, microorganisms could also be located on the outside surface of the carriers, such as a fly, and spread through physical contact with food. And so there is a table. Okay, so which tells the list of diseases caused by different microorganisms and their mode of transmission. Let us look into that table so that you'll understand so which microorganism cause which diseases. Okay, here is a table which shows some diseases caused by different microorganisms and the mode of transmission. Like we studied airborne, waterborne, and also through insects and animals. So that is a mode of transmission. Okay. So let us see the table. So name of the diseases, there is one column, and disease causing germ is another column, and mode of transmission. Okay. Totally 3 columns are there. You can notice. So first is measles. So the disease causing germ is virus, and mode of transmission is through air or direct or indirect contact. Next is tuberculosis is caused by bacteria, and mode of transmission is inhaling droplets in the air. Okay, next is typhoid. You people are familiar with this typhoid fever, and it is caused by bacteria, and mode of transmission is through water. So be careful when you are drinking water. Okay, do prefer for the boiled water or filter water. Next is diphtheria. It is caused by bacteria. It is caused by inhaling the droplets. That is a mode of transmission. Next is whooping cough. That is caused by bacteria. Again, this mode of transmission is through air. And next is pneumonia. So disease causing germ is bacteria or sometimes virus also. And mode of transmission is air. Next is tetanus. It is caused by bacteria, and when we have a wound, to that it may transmit. So that is a mode of transmission, that is wound. Next is chicken pox. Everyone have got experienced with this, isn't it? Chicken pox. So it is caused by virus. It is through direct or indirect contact. Next is mumps. It is caused by virus. Same again. So it is through air, or sometimes it is direct or indirect contact mode of transmission. Next is polio. Everyone have taken polio drops, isn't it? Including me. So it is caused by the germ virus. Okay. And mode of transmission is through infected stool, that is excreta again, and respiratory droplets and also saliva. Next is common cold. This is very minor infection, that is common cold. So this is causing germ is virus. So mode of transmission is through air. So when we feel cold or sneezing or sneeze, we need to close our mouth with handkerchief or tissue. So we can avoid spreading from us to others. Okay, next is amoebic dysentery, that is through protozoa. So people have studied what is protozoa. Okay, and mode of transmission is through water. Next is malaria. Just now I explained you people about malaria. So it is caused by the germ protozoa. So which is the mosquito that is causing malaria? That is female Anopheles mosquito. Okay. Next, name of the disease is ringworm. It is caused by fungus or fungi. Mode of transmission is through direct or indirect contact. Next is AIDS. So it is caused by virus. The mode of transmission is through sexual contact or contact with infected blood. Next is athlete's foot. So that is disease causing germ is fungus. It is through direct or indirect contact. Next is dengue and chikungunya. So it is caused by virus. So mode of transmission is through Aedes mosquito. Okay, that is a male mosquito. Next is food poisoning. We often feel vomiting or vomiting sensation. So we feel whatever we eat, we feel like vomiting. So that is because of food poisoning. It is caused by the germ, bacteria and fungus. So it is again through contaminated food. So if we consume food outside, street foods or junk foods, okay, so this may lead to food poisoning. Okay, when these food are exposed to hair or any infectious germs, so that becomes contaminated, and when we have that contaminated food, we often feel food poisoning. We keep on vomiting every often. Okay, so this is the table that gives a lot of information about diseases and which germ is causing the diseases and what is the mode of transmission. Okay, children, I hope everyone had followed today's concept about harmful microorganism. Worksheet will be sent along with this video. Do solve it and have a good day.